Joe Sarandon.
Good morning, Guam.
Half a day.
Good morning.
Thank you for starting your day, the KUAM day, of course, starting lineup every morning here on Facebook Live. We bring you a great Facebook Live show. I got a great group chat for you guys tomorrow, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves on this Monday. What a weekend.
I know, still kind of recovering. We
Right.
had the EMC Wine Festival for a
Right.
great cause, so that was
It was fun.
yeah.
Whining and
Welcome,
dining.
Nestor.
Morning, everyone.
Last night I started getting the text, people were calling and saying, oh, did the governor veto the weed bill? So I think there's a lot of, I don't want to call it anxiety, Nestor, but people are on their toes. They're wondering. I mean, I don't think the governor has been really clear about which way she's going to sway.
No, she hasn't. She's put on her poker face, so she's, hey, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Yeah, she's put on her poker face, so she hasn't given any indication so far since the bill has passed of which way she's going to go. But she did mention prior to that, in prior interviews before, while the bill was being discussed, or even before it was being discussed on the floor, that given stringent safeguards, that she would, in fact, sign a bill if it crossed her desk. But obviously right now it's under review, and it's amazing how much engagement we're getting on this issue. It's really, like I was saying earlier, it was it's either you're very strongly for it or very strongly against it, and
Right.
there doesn't appear to be a lot of middle ground.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because just talking with people over the weekend during the campaign, Lou and Josh, it was like, we're going to legalize recreational marijuana. They're pretty hard. And then when this bill started working its way through the system, you started to see the governor say things like, I would support it conceptually. So there's always been that little qualifier there, I guess.
One thing I found interesting was that, she had separate meetings with the pro side and the con side last week. And a lot of the people who had testified for the pro were actually talking about medicinal marijuana.
Right.
The three sound bites that we used were for people who, legitimately need it for their health. And so is this kind of a way of saying that had medicinal marijuana finally gotten through after what it's been 4 or 5 years, would the support for recreational marijuana be as strong?
Because I think that definitely the two have been kind of muddied together. So
yeah, it's been conflated.
Right.
Because I think a lot of the medicinal marijuana advocates are saying, we need our medicine.
We need the
our
weed.
We need our weed, and we haven't gotten it through medicinal marijuana, so maybe we'll get it through recreational marijuana. So I'm interested to find out what would be the reaction if medicinal marijuana had already passed, and how much support the recreational bill.
I don't think we would be talking about it.
Probably not.
I think that
right?
people would be, but then again, the medicinal law that we voted on and passed, it's pretty strict. And compared with, other states seem to be more liberal. So,
and there's going to be a lot of, as much as there's pressure on the governor right now on whether to sign it or not, it's the commission that's going to be established that will have even more pressure, because they're actually the ones that are going to come up with the rules and regs for how this is going to be rolled out.
What's
It'll
your
be
feeling,
interesting
though?
to see who's going to be sitting on the Cannabis Control Board.
Yeah.
So.
It's a pretty high seat, high position.
And I believe before you can actually legalize recreational marijuana, they have to conduct those studies. The Guam Visitors Bureau,
Right.
I believe, has to conduct a study, and then the Chamber of Commerce has to control a study.
Well,
and then a study has to be conducted every year.
Yeah. If it does get passed, I wonder, are we going to see the same thing that we saw with the medicinal marijuana, where it's like, you have a decision that as legally binding, right? And then nothing ever happened. So.
And I think that's where a lot of the frustration is by
Yeah.
the pro marijuana advocates. It's like, the people said it, they voted on it, they passed it, the referendum, and 5 years later, whatever it's been, we still don't have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, today, a couple of proclamation signings are going to be held. One for, is it Autism Awareness Month, right? And
Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
right, and they're having a presentation, a resolution presentation, actually, at the Guam Community College today. So that should be something we'll have on the news tonight. Dave's with us.
Hey.
Hey!
First time on the seat with you. The Raiders, Budweiser Guahan Varsity Football League champions, ending the Eagles' quest for Tress. Eagles were back-to-back champs,
Quest for
beating the Raiders 2 years in a row. But this time around, the Raiders, led by quarterback Danny Manabusin, 22-0. Jesse Pumpy
Whoa,
Magonia.
22-0.
He took the MVP award, scored a touchdown, receiving and a touchdown in the punt return game. So defense came to play, shut them out, and they are back as champions for that league. And also on tonight's show, GML Baseball, J.J. Ambrose wins his fight in Hex Fighting 18. Jeff Mesa fought to a draw. So congratulations to both fighters. I know Jeff Mesa.
How about Fitiel?
Oh, man. Hey, Fitiel, he'll come back.
Yeah.
He lost via first round knockout TKO. Ben Sassoli, very heavy-handed striker.
Right.
Both guys came in shape, but in the heavyweight division.
Sounds familiar, Ben Sassoli.
Yeah, he fought here before PXC. Yeah. But man, anytime you get two big guys throwing the leather, when somebody lands, it's night time. So,
Timber.
So it should be a
Twinkle night.
positive things from JJ and Jeff in the future.
Congratulations.
Actually, there's another bill that's awaiting the governor's signature, which is the one with for the rules and regs for the Liberation Carnival. Or the gambling, yeah.
They
Games
read.
of chance.
So what does that do?
What
it do?
It's no casino.
No,
for sure, but
casino per se, but there'll be casino games. Apparently, there'll be like poker and blackjack, and then the typical like the betu, the color game, and
Wait,
stuff like
there's
that.
going to be poker? Poker? It allows poker, so
That's what
but
I
just not in a
understand,
casino?
But not in a casino, so I'm not sure how that works.
Poker
Yeah, because I
pop-up.
had asked the question: is there any casino gambling? From Senator Moylan's office. Senator Moylan, of course, is a sponsor of it, and they said no casino. But then something came out later. Is the bill that we were looking at said certain games that are typically in casinos, like poker and blackjack, along with the games of chance, like the betu, are part of this bill. But it's limited strictly to a 60-month period that coincides with the Liberation Festival.
Boy, church is going to be busy this week.
And so,
What do? We got the weed, we got the gambling.
so that's another one that's on the governor's desk, and it's time sensitive because Liberation Carnival is only a couple of 3 months away. So.
the other story you covered was on Friday, came in late Friday regarding the port board meeting, and it got kind of
That's
emotional, right?
Yeah. So I covered the board meeting. It was really random, late assignment. I didn't think anything was going to happen. I ended up staying late, and they had this board employees circulated a petition, and they read it before the board. Woman Angela Yoshida burst into tears, crying, and I think Rory also teared up a little bit, and she was basically saying that, hey, under Joanne, it was a climate of fear. There was a lot of bullying and harassment that went down, and then this employee, and I guess by extension the employees who signed the petition, felt that Rory, they really stood behind Rory. So on the way back, I called Joanne Brown, and boy, did she have a lot to say about that. And the one thing I love about Joanne is she's not scared. Sometimes
she doesn't
you
back
try and get
down,
an
right?
interview, right? People are like, oh, I don't want to get involved out of it. Not her. She was like, oh, that woman's husband was fired when I was there, and she's got an axe to grind, and they're trying to get reinstated. And so there's something going on down there at the port. It's pretty crazy. There's like 400 employees, and
Right,
they were really.
7,600.
I've seen this before in the Guterres administration where they kind of do this. I don't want to call it dog and pony show, but you have a fourth of the employees signing a petition in support of Rory. So he does have some support down there.
But my thing is, what prompted the
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 petition?
petition and
Right.
what brought them, I guess, what was the meeting?
I think it's because he had a bumpy first couple months, right? I mean, that's your beat.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
obviously, there's that case that goes back,
The Port 7.
Years
the
ago.
Port 7,
Right.
and, there was reports in other media that, he'd been contacting certain people to see if they can get a settlement, and there's also the question about legal representation. Mike Phillips has been the legal counsel since, I guess, the past 7 years,
Right.
and they're looking to create an in-house counsel now, and then I think Mike's contract expires in June.
Right.
But who's going to take over litigation for the Port 7? And yeah, there's been several issues that.
And so wasn't it the board chair that came out and was like kind of taking Rory to task for like attempting to settle or whatever?
That was Oscar Calvo, who was
Okay.
the former board chair.
I see.
And who has since been not replaced, but his
Term expired.
his term
Right.
expired. So there's new board members, and yeah, I mean, Rory has never been one to shy away from
Yeah.
controversy himself. So he said when we did one of our earlier interviews with him that he wanted to hit the ground running, he wanted to get clear of the slate for pending issues, stuff that had been going on, so he could move forward on his own agenda, his goals, and I guess one of the things that he wanted to do is figure out what to do with the Port 7.
Right.
So he appointed one of the port deputies, Connie Shinhara, to lead a task force to review all of these cases and recommend to management and the board what to do.
And that's one of the things Joanne said, was she said, oh, obviously Rory's agenda is to get the Port 7 reinstated and to get them back paid, and that's where this is all going, so.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the fate of 7 people has really dominated the news. I mean, not that, of course, for them, it's very important issues.
Right,
I mean,
right.
These are life-changing decisions that were, but yeah, in the whole scheme of things, it involves 7 employees for
Right.
one agency.
Well, they got some powerful friends, I guess.
I did want to bring up that over the weekend at the Dededo Dome, there was a
Oh, yeah.
resolution, I guess, discussion for Senator Pito Tilahi, and there was a fairly good turnout, of I guess, concerned,
Cockers?
Yeah.
and it was from 3 to 5 p.m. and I think people were kind of wondering why that was just like a weird time in the afternoon. It was just because right after there was
A derby?
Okay.
So
What a better way to get everybody together than
Get
just
them there already.
bring
But
it to them.
But there was like a handful of senators that did show up, Speaker Tina Barnes and
Amanda Shelton,
yeah,
so
and
that
Jim
James
Moylan
Moylan.
and everything. There was also looking at the pictures and getting some feedback. A representative from Congressman Mike St. Nicholas's office, Jennifer Wynn, who was there as well. I don't know if she spoke or anything, but
Yeah, the purpose of it was a resolution that.
yeah,
that
to I
Peter
guess
has
to
a-
present to Congressman
Congressman,
St.
yeah.
Nicholas to say like if to present it and say that this is more of a cultural, that the territory should be not
Excluded.
included in
one of my friends made a comment this weekend, like, what island are we living on? We're legalizing weed and then making cockfighting illegal. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, look for these stories and more tonight on Prime Time and the rest of the week. You've been watching Morning Meeting. Thanks for starting your day the KUAM way.
Hey!
Bye.
See you, Facebook.